When you talk about West Virginia and you talk about the things that they really do well and what they want to do, it seems like this is a game that largely boils down to how tough are you. The tougher team's probably going to win a game like this. What's the best way to impress that upon your team so that they act accordingly?
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you really can adopt overnight. I think every coach really, in their best attempt, tries to get the team that they're responsible for the most prepared and ready as we possibly can. And that's every game. Our last game had a big challenge. I mean, coming off of the trip that we were on, which includes the travel part of it, and having a pretty quick turnaround, playing without Adam Kunkel again. I was really concerned about that game. That's the dangerous game where you can really come out flat, and we didn't. I thought our guys were really ready and prepared. This game right here, if we have to put too much, blood and sweat into firing our guys up to play with great energy, to match physicality and be tough, you kind of already have the answer to the question. Like, we're playing a very good team from a great conference, the Big 12, playing against one of the best coaches that have ever done it in Bob Huggins, playing a home game on a weekend. I think this is our first weekend game at home. And, it's like this is, I think, why you play college basketball. This is, in large part, the games that Xavier has been built around for decades. And there's no doubt about it. If we don't play with great energy, toughness, play for an entire game, start to finish, be able to rebound as good or better than we have at any moment this season. And then the last part, which is probably the most important, is against West Virginia, we have to be able to take care of the ball. Their ability to turn you over and then turn you over and score points is unmatched. They're as good as any team in the country at doing both of those. And all those things have one common theme, and that is, you have to be alert. You have to be physically tough. As we sub and go to our bench and the game goes through different segments, we have to be consistent with that. We can't afford a drop-off because, we subbed or we took a couple guys out of the game, and while they were out, we gave up second shots or we broke down. So, yeah, I think, your question is accurate. Is toughness the key to this game? Yes, it really is. And I think it's really the case in the next two games.
Do you expect that you guys will be full healthy for this one?
I do. Adam has continued to come around. Clearly with the concussion, you can always get a setback on a day like today. We've not practiced yet. But really from the first moment that he experienced symptoms, he's improved steadily, and he's improved right away. So he was able to practice yesterday. He had no side effects, no ill effects. So, we're planning on him playing, and not only playing, but playing the role that he had prior to his injury. But we missed him. I'll say that too. Like we did. Injury sometimes can come at the wrong time. The middle of the second half against Duke, playing against Gonzaga without him, and being able to go a 7-day stretch without him. I mean, we're clearly a better team with Adam Kunkel healthy.
Sean, this is kind of you guys are probably the one team they've played so far this season that can actually match them in experience and size. How big is that for you guys in a situation like this where they have two 6'10" guys, they play consistently, a 6'9" guy, and also are able to move the ball pretty well and score?
Yeah, Eric Stevenson, Emmett Matthews, and Trey Mitchell. Those three, they're 2, 3, and 4, I think are all very talented players. They have experience, size, like you had mentioned. I'm familiar with Eric Stevenson. He played against me when he was playing at Washington. So I've seen him, shot maker, but I think Eric Stevenson is playing the best basketball of his career. Again, strong guard, playing with a lot of confidence. Emmett Matthews does a little bit of everything. I think he's kind of a Huggins type of player in that he good on the glass, good defensively, really good in transition, very good passer. He can play him a lot of different places, and they really utilize him in all those roles. And Trey Mitchell, from an offensive perspective, is just incredibly skilled. So matching up with those three players is quite a task, I think, for every team that plays West Virginia. And we'll be no different. I mean, we have our hands full. We have to do a great job defending those three guys. And, you know, you're not going to pitch a shutout, but you can't break down. You have to really make the game tough. We have to be responsible. Got to do a really good job against three very, very talented players. And then their two guards, Johnson and Toussaint, number 0 and 5, also very good. But I think where they really stand out is that forcing turnovers. I mean, they're just like two pit bulls out there, and they pick up full court, they take charges, they gamble, they play with like a motor that you just envy. I mean, they really play hard, and we have to be able to protect the ball against those guys, you know. And look, their center position, they do a great job of being physical, rebounding. And I think they have guys that can match up inside with us for sure. That's why, you know, we're playing a very good team. I mean, we are. It's just more of the same. Indiana, very good team. Florida, Duke, Gonzaga, West Virginia. We're playing some of the best teams in the country. And I look at West Virginia as being that for sure.
Tuesday night, you used quite a few times a little bit of a high-low offense with Zach and Jack. In a game like this, where it is size is pretty similar, is that something you look to, not tell us obviously your game plan by any means, but is that something you try to get more into the offensive side of the ball for a game like this?
I mean, I think we've pretty much settled into like our way of playing, you know. I think we want to play with pace. That doesn't mean we want to be a team that just shoots the ball early in the clock for no reason. It has to be a good one. And then, you know, we want to play that team game and want to generate consistent shots. You know, you look through 8 games, we have 5 players in double figures. That's always a good sign. We have a lot of guys that have a positive assist to turnover ratio, another good sign. You know, we're shooting the ball at a very high percentage right now. You know, whether that can hold up over a long period of time, we're going to see. But I think from an offensive perspective, in this game, the biggest stat is how many turnovers we have. We cannot turn the ball over 12 times and a half or have one of those 4-minute segments where you have 5 turnovers. That's what West Virginia is really, really good at. And I think if you could take that away, you know, you have a better opportunity to win the game.
West Virginia's pressure, is it full court 40 minutes, and then once you get in the half court, are they gambling on passes, getting into passing lanes, just constantly swiping at the ball? And then is the way around that pressure ball movement, is that kind of the equalizer there?
Yeah, no, they're not reckless with their full court pressure. You know, they've in the past, I know, have trapped more and maybe pressed more. They'll pick up full court for sure. They could press dead balls. Their guards generally are going to pick up three-quarter, full court. But their pressure comes in just man-to-man form. You know, they've shown a different type of matchup zone against Purdue, which, you know, same thing, quickness, switching with that. But when they're in their traditional man-to-man, it's just pressure, guys taking charges, denying passing lanes, playing with great effort. And, you know, and because of that, sometimes they'll foul. And when that happens in this game, we have to be able to play through that and also go to the free throw line and try to take advantage if we can get there.
For as long as you've been in college basketball and as long as Bob Huggins has been in, only the 4th time that you guys have coached against each other, I was just wondering if anything stands out from your time in the past coaching against him, any fond memories or cool stories?
I mean, you know, look, when you play as team, you're getting a high effort, very physical group. A group that takes great pride in defending and rebounding, and they run smart offense. You know, one of the things that I don't think he gets enough credit for as a coach is they historically really do a great job themselves of taking care of the ball. There are some times where the team that he coaches, they're top 10 in the country in fewest turnovers, which is a heck of a thing when you consider how they play defense. So it's almost like they don't want to give you any turnovers, and yet they want to create a lot of turnovers. That turnover game is really important. But I really respect him a great deal. I admire him. His dad and my dad, very, very similar. Eastern Ohio for him, Western Pennsylvania for me. Kind of grew up around the game since we were really small. Both played college basketball. Me at the good place, him not at the good place. Pitt, West Virginia. But there's a lot of similarities when you consider the house we grew up in, and I think the role that our dad has had in our lives. But I have an amazing amount of respect for him for a lot of reasons. But in my case, one of those reasons is what I just said. I kind of know what he went through, kind of growing up. And I'm thrilled for him that he's in the Hall of Fame. I think it's an honor that he rightfully deserves.